What's up, guys? It's Gaz. Welcome to the Warframe video. So today we have the hidden secret super weapon for you, the Shedu. I'm going to tell you guys how to farm it. I'm going to show you how it performs on some high-level enemies in Simulacrum, and I've also got a lot of gameplay for you, showing lots of synergies with other frames, because this thing is extremely powerful, extremely unique, and it has some good synergies with other frames, just like Mirage. Mirage has great synergy with this thing. Let's go over it. We're also going to show you the most efficient way to farm it. That's actually going to start the video off with. So, first off, this thing comes from the new quest. It's called the Era quest, and it's going to require you to infiltrate the sentient ship in the Veil Proxima, and you're going to need to break the crystal in there with the Paracesis sword that you got from the Apostasy Prologue. So if you can do all that stuff, this is the weapon you're going to be looking at here. It's called the Shedu. It's an arm cannon. It doesn't actually replace your arm, but it looks like it does. So this thing has good critical chance, good status chance. It has infinite ammo, and whenever you empty the magazine, it's going to knock all the enemies around you with an impact proc. Additionally, it's got AoE on the shots, so it does heat damage on impact, but there's a 5.5 meter radius of AoE that does electrical damage as well. So, depending on how you mod this thing, you can get some pretty unique elemental combinations, and it's actually really, really nice. Not to mention, this also removes the sentient damage resistance when fully discharged. So the AoE thing removes the sentient resistances, and I believe it works on the Stalker as well. I tried that last night. So, how do you get this thing is probably a question you might be asking if you don't already know, because I mean this thing's been out for like a week at this point, to be honest. So let's start with our step-by-step process of getting this thing reliably, or somewhat reliably. So first off, you're going to want to go to this website called semlar.com, and the homie Semlar has hooked us up with a timer showing when the next sentient anomaly might appear. So as we see right here, it is expected between 2 hours from now and like 3 hours from now. That's the problem. Unlike the Eidolon fights on Cetus, which have a guaranteed spawning time, like every 2.5 hours the Eidolon's going to spawn on Cetus, this sentient ship is going to appear in a time range. So once this timer gets down to 0, it could either be at this time or it could be 40 minutes later at this time. So you basically are going to be wasting like a half hour of your time if it doesn't immediately spawn. But that's just how it is. That's the most accurate timer we can get. So we're going to try to maximize the amount of drops we can possibly get here. So we're running max loot stuff that works on this. So basically we're going to go and fight these enemies in the sentient ship. The only things that work currently are Atlas's Orgaze Augment mod, which is a build like this. You want all the power strength you can get on Atlas, and you also want to run the Orgaze Augment mod. It lets you get 74% drop chance with my current build increased from the loot, and these guys have a pretty uncommon drop chance of this part, and you need 4 of them, so you're going to want to run that. We're also running Ivara. Ivara's third ability will pickpocket the enemy and give you extra loot, so you definitely want to run that too. And you're also going to want to run Necros. Necros' loot ability also works. The other loot abilities, Hydroid, Korra, whoever else there might be, those don't appear to work. So you need to bring those 3, and then as the 4th, we brought Wisp just to have the speed motes to make everyone run faster, give it HP pool so you don't get one shot by the Sentients. I still get one shot by the Sentients on Ivara, but I mean, they're shooting me when I'm invisible. What am I supposed to do? So what you want to do here, guys, when you know the Sentient ship will be there, get in there with your squad, make sure you're going full loot mode, and then make sure whenever you find the Symbolist, these things are called Symbolists that you're trying to farm for, put a waypoint on him so everybody knows where he is. Everyone bring the Paracesis, because you're going to probably need it against these guys. And yeah, so make sure everyone has looted him. I've pickpocketed him at this point. Now we can get him stoned with Atlas, and then everyone wails on with the Paracesis. We got like 3 or 4 loot drops from that specific sentient, so do that with every single Symbolist you see in the fortress. So we're going to get like 3 or 4 loot drops from this guy. And on this run, guys, we got 3 out of the 4 Shedu parts I needed. So this strategy does work really well. And if you do it right, you can actually immediately load the mission again, because this ship only appears for 30 minutes at a time every 3 hours. So once you kill the sentients in this ship, have the ship captain or the person who owns the ship go back to the railjack ship and then go to the map and then reload the mission. I know it sounds scary, but we were able to reload this mission and keep our Shedu parts like 4 times in a row, guys. If that doesn't make any sense to you, trust me, it doesn't make sense to me either, but that's just how it works currently. So if you don't want to roll the dice and like see if it bugs out or anything like that, you could just complete the mission after you get the Shedu parts, just to be safe. That's what we end up doing. Like when the sentient ship's about to despawn in like 30 minutes or like 5 minutes, we usually will just complete the mission at this point. Cut our losses, say, all right, we've farmed as much as we can at this point. Let's just move on. So yeah, that's gonna be it. This thing is like, it was not in the patch notes that it was added. It is pretty much a hidden weapon. That's why I put Whisper of the Worm in the thumbnail for this, because it really reminds me of Whisper of the Worm, and this is exactly what I wanted of a new tile set with Warframe. So they did a good job there. I was hoping it would be hidden inside the actual environment, but you know, the fact that you can like loot it with loot abilities is fine too. So yeah, just pretty much run through, loot only the Symbolist. You don't really care about the other whatever they're called, sentients. Like, they don't really... The only guys that drop the actual parts are the Symbolists. They have, like, the laser cannon on their arm. And, yeah, this guy over here drops us, like, 2 parts. He's a real good sentient. So, pickpocket with Ivara. Oh, also with Ivara, guys, make sure your power strength is 100% or over. Because if you didn't know this, power strength actually affects the drop chance with Ivara's third ability. And if you have overextended on there, and it's not going to give you the full extra loot percentage. And you want that, since this is a very time-limited thing. These parts are actually tradable for platinum. So you could actually make some platinum off doing this farm. If you're doing that, I definitely would recommend bringing all the stuff we have in this video. So, yeah, everyone with the Paracesis is ideal. We're going to move on past this because, yeah, we got a ton of loot. People were jealous. That's just how it is. So, yeah, let's go over the weapon now. So now we've shown you how to farm it. Here's how the weapon performs. So this is just how it is. It's a projectile-based weapon with 5.5 meters AoE on the shots. It's extremely powerful, and with just a little bit of smart modding, you can actually get some unique elemental combinations. Keep in mind, I have a Riven on here. We will be showing the build with a Riven. If you don't have a Riven, you can put heavy caliber in this slot. You can put bladed rounds in that slot. Also, you don't need to run hunter munitions. I do like hunter munitions on this thing, but even like vigilante armaments works great in that slot too. There's lots of build options with this thing. But yeah, with just toxin mods, it makes gas and corrosive, which is not very common at all. If you want to do a different combination, you can actually throw some more elementals on there. With high voltage and thermite rounds, it becomes corrosive and heat. And that's because I have toxin on here, but you could definitely make corrosive and heat work. And then as far as the Exilus mod, I just have... This thing has infinite ammo, but I put Vigilante supplies on here just to get this extra Vigilante set bonus to make our yellow crits into orange crits. So, yeah, this thing's kind of okay with without a Riven, but once you get a Riven, it can skyrocket into some crazy territories where you're getting consistent viral procs, consistent gas procs, consistent corrosive procs, and with hunter munitions, you're getting lots of slash procs as well. So it scales really well, and it can unconditionally destroy these enemies. So let's just quickly show my build. Keep in mind, this is a gas-focused build I'm currently using. Let's show it against a level 170 Tech Eximus. So one shot is going to give him about 11,000 Toxin proc ticks. That's from literally just one trigger pull. And it almost kills this really high Eximus. It's the highest level I can spawn in here, with no outside buffs. So pretty good there. Let's show it against some armored guys. We're going to get into a lot of gameplay as well, because I played with this thing a lot last night. It's really good, lots of frames. Okay, so let's do some gunners. Keep in mind, I don't have hunter munitions on here anymore, so the AoE slash procs you're not going to see those. You're just going to see the gas procs. We can also buff it up a little bit with Mirage, but I do have some gameplay of that. It is pretty impressive, honestly. So if you go for headshots, yeah, you're going to get some more damage. Here's me unloading at full power. See, when you fully empty the magazine, it does an impact proc in an area, which is pretty much guaranteed and really nice. So once you get those gas ticks stacked on top of each other, it's really deadly, even against these armored guys. We're also removing their armor with corrosive. Really, really powerful. Yeah, so that's really good. Let's show it with hunter munitions just to see how that looks as well. I've been running with hunter munitions to be honest. And like I said, don't put a D polarity on here if you don't have a D polarity Riven. That's for sure. Right, same guys, just with hunter munitions instead. This should not be as impressive, but we'll see. Alright, now they're getting wrecked by the dots. Keep in mind these are all headshots on paused enemies. So yeah, lots of dot with this setup. And we're getting orange crits because of the Vigilante set bonus, which is extremely nice. So yeah, let's get into some gameplay first. There's a lot of stuff to go over on this thing, so we're gonna have 4 gameplays at once. Hope that you guys can keep up with that. Alright. So I'm using it with Wukong, I'm using it with Saren, I'm using it with Mirage, and I forgot what the last one is. So this is really good with lots of frames, guys. Especially with Mirage. getting like 3 versions of this gun at the same time is nasty. And it already does enough damage to one-shot most of these enemies anyway, so if you have 3 of the guns, like, it's AoE doom. Like, because it's a 5.5 meter radius on the shots, so you get 3 of those, that's like the entire room getting blasted in one shot, pretty much. Alternatively, with Wukong, the AI on the clone is actually pretty good at this gun. Never mind the fact that it actually reloads the gun when this gun has no reload, but it seeks targets relatively well, it does good damage, it switches targets really fast too, and it engages from across the map, so really good there. For Saren, I mean, it's extremely good for spreading spores because of the AoE, it also has good damage. It's going to make it, honestly, like, no matter who you use this on, it's going to be powerful. It's really good with Gauss, because Gauss's 4th ability gives you faster reload and fire rate. This thing doesn't really need either of those stats, but it's good with Gauss. It's good with everybody. So, I got no complaints on this thing besides how hard it is to farm for some people. Once this gameplay's over, we're going to go over some pros and cons as well, and also another hidden passive it has, because this thing is all over the place, just like my videos, guys. It's got like 3 hidden passives, and one that's probably not even intended. So, yeah, let's actually just quickly show the hidden passive that's not intended. So, with this thing, you can actually you can fire it while you're downed on the ground. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Where's that gameplay? Let's stick with this for now. Let's go over some pros and cons instead. So, some pros for this thing is that it's got the unique elemental damages, so you can do gas and corrosive just with toxin mods, guys. So it's pretty nice in that regard. It's got infinite ammo, no reload unless like you're Wukong's clone and you find a way to reload it somehow. AoE, it resets the sentient resistances with the fully empty magazine, and it can also be used while you're holding things like a data mass for a mobile defense. It can also be used when you're using something like a disruption key. You can still fire this thing, so that's really nice. And while you're down on the ground, you can still use this as a primary. So it's really good while you're down on the ground. You could even think of some things like extra damage while bleeding out. I was thinking about that the other night. I mean, it definitely, you don't want to build your entire build around that, but it's pretty funny that's even a thing. We've also got good crit and stats, great for hybrid setup. Like I said, hunting munitions, gas, really nice. Actually, you can see the top right now. I'm down to Saren against these level 80 sentients and amalgams. I can still fire the gun, and nobody rezzed me because I was nowhere near anybody. And then the AoE impact proc is kind of nice when you're surrounded, if you haven't killed everything at that point already. So those are some pros. Let's go over some cons of the weapon, because there are a couple. I mean, calling them cons is a little bit harsh, but some people could view it as that, I feel like. So we've got the... a lot of people really do feel like this is impossible to get, and I don't really blame them. Like, if you don't have a really good railjack for the Veil Proxy, like, you're going to need to basically get carried or taxied there. And yeah, this is the only place in the game you can get that besides trade chat. Actually, no, you do need to you need to go there, period, because you need to get the blueprint and the quests from breaking that crystal at the Paracesis. So that's a big con for a lot of people. And honestly, without a Riven, it's good, but it's not like groundbreakingly amazing, like you'd expect something super awesome and hidden like this to be. The base damage feels a little bit low in some situations. That's why I'd recommend maybe running Heavy Caliber and Serration if you don't have a Riven mod, or maybe even Bladed Rounds just to get you more crit damage, multiply that damage by more when you crit. AoE does not go through walls, so if you're shooting at a reactor core for like a sabotage mission, it's not going to shoot the tubes on the other side of the wall, so that can be a problem for some people. At least it's a problem for me. And if you're trying to go for a pure viral build, the fact that this thing has base heat and base electric hurts a viral build, because it will never be purely viral. It will be viral electric, viral heat, which is not bad, but if for like a purely viral 100 munitions build, you kind of want it to not be proccing the other stuff, like electric and stuff. It's not really what you're trying to go for. So yeah, that's going to be basically it for the pros and cons. Let's see if we got anything else for you guys here before we call it. Yeah, basically, you do want to run all that loot stuff at the same time, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I definitely would recommend it to you guys with all these nice perks. And honestly, it's the only ranged sentient weapon that can remove the sentient resistances, so it's also unique in that regard as well. So yeah, definitely make sure you get your hands on this thing. The Rivens are extremely expensive. I paid 1,000 plat for mine unrolled, so, and it's also the worst polarity. So, and honestly, I probably got a good deal. I was like, that costs a lot of plat, but like I've been seeing people paying like 2,000 plus plat, and like there's people trying to list for 12,000 plat for some of these terrible rolls. Those people are a bit crazy, but you know, maybe someone would actually buy it if they were dumb enough and drunk enough. So yeah, definitely make sure you try to get your hands on this thing, guys. It does require good railjack stuff, and it's going to take a lot of grinding to even get to that point in the first place. So yeah, definitely check it out. And honestly, if you have a frame that synergizes with this, that's not surprising, because every frame synergizes with this in some regard. Haro's really good with his crit buff. Like I said, Gauss really good. Wisp is really good with her fire ray buff, which you don't even need, but it's good. Mirage, I think Mirage is probably the best synergy frame for this thing. And yeah, this thing is a monster. Can't kill Eidolons, unfortunately. It's like more of like a mission slayer. I haven't taken this thing in a long endurance run yet, but I am planning on doing that like either tonight or tomorrow. Try to get like level 400 plus enemies up in there and see how that goes. I'll probably change the build for a really long run, but yeah, I think it will do still pretty okay. Although most of the time you're using melee in those really late game situations anyway. So hope you guys found this video helpful. There will definitely be another video. Or wait, will there be a video tomorrow? Tomorrow is Xmas Eve. There probably will be a video tomorrow. Yeah, let's do a video tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys next time, and yeah, I hope that you are having a great holiday season. Peace, guys.